Hello. I want to talk about a post I saw on a Tumblr I follow. I know, yeah, I'm still on Tumblr, but there are some really intelligent, amazing women blogging there on that platform, so I saw a great post today. A blog I follow, it's called Destroy Males, destroymales.tumblr.com. She received an anonymous message that said, I understand what you're saying about many women not being entirely female-centric because of personal relationships, but considering that very few people have the luxury of excluding all male friends and family, do you think there are steps you can take to become more conscious of when you start to put men first at the expense of women? And so that was what the Anon said. Destroy Males responded. I think her name might be Lisa. No, it's not. Sorry, it's Alice. It's Alice. Anyway, Alice, who is Destroy Males, responded, excluding men isn't a luxury, it's a choice. Straight and bi women love to argue separatism by saying that they don't have the, quote, luxury of not including men in their lives, but it's bullshit. It's a choice. And if someone isn't willing to make that choice, it isn't separatists that are the big bad here. Being female-centric is a choice, and no one has a gun to anyone's head making them choose to be. But to begin with, it starts with active choices. Choosing to interact with women when you have that option, female friends, female family, female doctors, female staff you interact with when it's an option. I live a pretty mainstream existence, and I still only speak to maybe 1 or 2 men a month, and one of those is a bus driver. It isn't nearly as hard as some people make it seem. So that I thought was excellent because I am a massive supporter, promoter about female separatism and making that choice. People talking about it being a luxury is, in my opinion, an excuse. It's definitely a choice, and it's definitely something that you can choose to do. The pushback is always, well, we have fathers and we have brothers and we have sons and blah, 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 blah. Maybe if you are the mother of an underage son, you are compelled to care for that child, probably morally and legally by the state, of course. But when it comes to other male family members, you aren't bound to include them in everything, to have them in your lives, to support them, to care for them, to love them, to like them, to be around them, especially when they are upholding patriarchy. They are contributing to your oppression, your pain, your affecting you negatively, emotionally, maybe physically. You don't have to do that. You can absolutely choose not to. And same with it comes to things like friendships. You certainly can choose not to be friends with men. You don't have to engage with men. And also, you don't need to pursue friendships with men. If the opportunity presents, you don't have to accept, kind of thing. Like, it's just so strange to me that so many women talk about how it's a luxury, or they don't have that choice, or it's not so easy. And it's like, yeah, actually it is. It really is. You go to the female teller at the bank and you ask the female staff member at the grocery store where to find whatever. Like, you see female doctors, you choose a female therapist. Like, there are, of course, times where you can't get around it, but it's like, that's going to happen no matter what. But the important thing is that you do make the correct choice when you have the opportunity to do so. And I find so often that even like so-called feminists will say things like they just get along better with men, and it's like, no, you really don't. That's just a patriarchal stereotype that, like, women are catty, or women can't get along, or you're one of the guys, or whatever, and it's just not true. So I think part of female separatism is not only making the choice to not involve men in your life, but it's also putting in the work and effort to create and strengthen and enrich the relationships you do have with the women in your life. So yeah, it's a choice you can make. It's something that you should be doing. It is definitely something that takes work and effort, but is rewarding and ultimately the best for you. So yeah, something to think about. And I really hope that going forward you do start working on the relationships you have with women and putting less time and effort into the ones you have with men. Thanks. Bye.